Hey everybody, this is me, Undead Viking, and this is Collectors and Capers. This is a heist-themed set collection majority control kind of game. It is a card game where each person is going to be collecting heist cards that will allow them to take certain actions that will allow them to claim holy treasures like the Holy Chalice or the Crystal Femur or what have you. And you're going to be playing the game until against other players as they're trying to claim the treasures from the same museum that you're all stealing these treasures from, and also from each other. Until all the treasures are claimed, and you kind of do a little bit of a cleanup, a few rounds of cleanup, and then after all the dust settles, each person will determine, like, they have their own secret goals in mind that they determine as the game is played, and you try to get the treasures that you secretly desire more than others to gain as many points as possible, and then whoever wins the game is the one who has the most points at the end of that round. You can play several rounds of the game if you so desire, or you can just play a one and done type of thing. It is very, very quick, it is very, very clever, and it has a lot of bluffing and counter bluffing going on that I found to be very, very enjoyable. So let me show you how Collectors and Capers is played, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, cool. For one heist point, you can exchange one of your secret cards with one of your other secret cards. And then you might be wondering, how do you actually claim those treasures? So, for 2 heist points, basically all of your heist points, unless, once again, you took the 2 card Spy on the Competition action, you can take a set of 3, so here I have 3 Golden Fleece, you put them face down in front of you, and then you say, I'm claiming the treasure. So in this case, we'd say, I'm claiming the Golden Fleece. Now, if the Golden Fleece was in somebody else's hand, you can still claim that, but you have to put down a collection of cards that has more than the other player. So if somebody else had one that had claimed with 3, somebody would have to put 4 down. Now, here's the trick. You don't have to be honest. You can lie. You can say, you know, like I could have, if I didn't have 3 Golden Fleece, I could have put this one down and said, I have 4, cards or whatever. But in this case, let's just say I told the truth. And I said, there you go. Now, around the table, each player can decide whether they want to challenge me or not. And to challenge, they actually have to put at risk heist cards from their hand. They put, 1 or as many cards as they want down, and they say they challenge what I have said that I have. I'm saying right now that I have 3 Golden Fleece. If it goes all around the table and not enough players put enough cards down to equal the number of cards I put down as my bid, they don't succeed. They won't be able to go ahead and do it. So they just take those cards and put them back in their hand, and no challenge is issued. If they succeed in getting enough cards out there, whether it's just one person or a combination of people, at that point you have to reveal the cards that you have. And so then if you show that you actually were telling the truth, that you have 3 Golden Fleece cards on there, then everybody who challenged you and bid cards has to discard those, and they lose those. If you lied, let's say I said it was 4, and I put that down there, I lose whatever cards that I used that I lied to do it. And so I lose the card. And if somebody had one that already had claimed this with 3, and I put down 4 saying I got it, I wouldn't actually take it because I hadn't exceeded their bid. So you can see where that will come into play, where you might make a gamble for it, but if somebody can't equal it, then, you have that, you kind of can hedge your bets a little bit, but it doesn't work. Now, this opens up a lot of different possibilities with the bidding and the challenging. For example, if nobody bet against the fact that these 3 heist cards were for the Golden Fleece, and you claim it, bam, you have it. These remain face down. So if another player comes forward and says, I'm going to bid 4, I'm just going to grab 4 cards here, I don't know what they are, but just for example, and they say these 4 are Golden Fleece cards, and I'm challenging to bid, and then the challenge goes through, then what happens is everybody will turn over their cards that they used to bid, including the person that has the cards already, and they then compare how many Golden Fleece cards they have. If you don't exceed, once again, if you don't exceed what they have, then you like you still lose, like you wouldn't be able to take it, you know. So there, you have to always exceed the person that, even if like say one of these was a lie and they turned these over and the 4 cards they used, I grabbed the wrong one, the 4 cards they used were 2, it would still be, they'd have to discard these 2, and it would still be 2 to 2. Now you can weaken a set that like already had claimed it, because remember, you have to use 3 cards to claim it, but if you get called out on it after the fact, in this case, you still control it, but you've weakened it, and now you have only 2 cards out there, and it's easier for somebody else to snag it from you. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, why would you ever want to have like a lying set that claims cards? Well, if you actually claim a set and at the very end of the game you still control it and you lied, if you were dishonest with having it, claimed it, it's worth extra points. There's a few ways that the game can end. If all of the treasures are claimed, you will have 3 more rounds going around, stealing them back and forth amongst each other, trying to gain as many points as you can, and as soon as those 3 rounds are done, then the game is over. If, like, basically you end up with just the cards and the informants, like, constantly being cycled back and forth, like, you know, as far as, you know, like, you know, filling in the spots, then that also will end the game. And if the heist deck, discard pile, and informants are all empty, then the game is over, and there is no winner at that point. So nobody will win the game. But to score, you get 8 points for each secret the secret matching steal this card you own. So like I had, like if I had the Golden Fleece and I had this, that would be worth 8 points. For every one that you own that you didn't have a steal this card for, that's worth 5 points. If you have a dishonest set that claims something, like say this is a dishonest set for this one, that's worth 3 points. And you gain 2 points that for each set of cards that you have, like he's still in front of you, that you just have a set even though it doesn't control it. So let's say, you know, let's put this one, and this one, but let's say we didn't manage to get the Priceless Painting, and but you have a set, that's still going to be worth 2 points at the end of the game. Whoever has the most points will win that round, and the game is designed to be played very quickly, and also, like, play several different rounds of it. You see, like, each one round is called a caper, and so you can play like 3 or 5 or 7 capers, and whoever has the total score the best after playing it that many times will win that like session of the game. Alright, so the game is all about bluffing. It's all about trying to read the other person's, it's trying to remembering which cards they took, and a lot of fun. So let me talk more about all of that in my final thoughts. Alright, there you go. That is Collectors and Capers. So, thank you very much for sitting through the gameplay portion of the game. You know, there's a lot of things about this game that I just really liked. I mean, I like games with secret knowledge. I like games with you trying to, like, exert your will and profess that you have certain things that you may or may not have. Or, like one of those things where you know, it's the classic poker, acting weak is strong and acting strong is weak, or then my acting strong because I'm really strong, or things like that. So you're kind of like just playing upon the paranoia and the nervousness of the other players, because there's nothing better than like making people believe that there's no way you could have, you know, 4 of the ancient statue cards, but then like when everybody bids against you and like puts their cards on the table to try to get you down, and then you flip over and you have them. I mean, that's just a great reaction. I love games with exposure games, or like the reveal. I love games like that. And on like a recent game I played, like I was able, you know, to get like 5, and I believe it was this, like the digital guide. I was able to get 5 of those cards in my hand, and so I put that bid out, and I was like, you know, there you go. I'm going to claim the digital guide. And so the other players at the table, like, they didn't have a lot of cards. And that's something that's very important to watch when you put your cards out. If they don't have a lot of cards, they don't have a lot of ammunition to go against what you've chosen. And so it kind of got around the table, and like one person just didn't have any cards, they couldn't do anything. Another person put 1 card in, and then they spent a good 5 minutes trying to convince my hapless friend Craig, like you gotta put your 3 cards in, you gotta take that, you can't let him take that card, it's gonna be worth too many points, the round's almost over. They sat there and just hammered on him and hammered on him and hammered on him until he finally said, fine. You know, he put his 3 cards down, and of course the reveal, and then watching him balefully glare the other two players. And you know, I mean, it's things like that. It's like moments like that that make the game really enjoyable. And like I said, the high interactivity between everybody and the table talk and like the game beyond the game, of course, really shines in sessions of Collectors and Capers. You know, the theme is, it probably could have been anything, but I do like the heist theme. So I mean, that added a bit of it too, a bit of the fun for me, if you will. You know, plus, you know, having the kind of some tongue-in-cheek humor of having, you know, the ancient statue, which is like, once again, obviously Cthulhu on there and things like that. So if you like card games, if you like quick little card games like this, where you kind of, it isn't just what the cards you have, it's like the secret knowledge that you have and being able to kind of pressure other people at the table and put them into tough decisions, then you're really, I think you're going to enjoy this. This, you know, appealed to the poker playing nature of my that I have in a kind of an off-kilter way, but was not unenjoyable by any means. So there you go. If you have any questions about Collectors and Capers, go ahead and ask away. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, this is me, the Undead Viking, telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.